Today I'm going to show you a quick video of a child receiving a tablet for the very first time and how they interact with it. It's just going to be 20 seconds. I'll explain.
We have a new toy. Are you ready for a new toy? Do you like new toys? Okay, you want a new one? Okay, here it is.
So as you can see right away, she's recognizing
Yep, it's got Super Tower.
applications. She's navigating through it. And no one's taught her pretty much anything. She knows what she wants. She's looking. He offers her help, but she, as you can see, she's already drawing. She knows how to go back to the home page. So, and now she's typing. So, she's pretty much everywhere, as you can see. And many people could argue, you know, giving technology to children isn't maybe the greatest idea, but I'm here to talk about the benefits of children using technology. And I've done my research now, for my speech, and I've also seen my niece and nephew, how they've grown with technology. And I'm pretty sure we could all relate and, have encountered a child doing pretty much the same exact thing, and as ourselves as well, when we grew into technology, and how I remember when I first opened the flip phones, when my uncle had one, and the little snake game. I used to love playing that. So it was very exciting. I'm pretty sure everyone here too had some type of memory of that. So today I will discuss 3 main benefits for children. It's educational, communication benefits, and career benefits. For educational benefits, technology could really help them with visualizing, especially concepts that are very hard to understand, whether it could be math, science, and one great example could be reading and writing. Lots of programs out there could spell out words, give out phrases, help them learn and, engage into reading and writing, as my example. So that could be one for educational, to visualize. And then second one could be creates on-hand experiences for the children. With that, with computers, children can now able to compose, learn, explore, and create all sorts of digital programs. Whether it's a picture, it's a sound, it's a shape, and also they can get immediate feedback, right? As well as I could say, you're not physically just letting the child play with it. As the video goes on, it lasts about 5 minutes, you would see the father helping the child learning and engaging with the tablet and giving it more learning experience as an education. Because it can also be just for entertainment, right? And then for another bullet point for education would be the technology would help the children learn in different ways. I'm pretty sure everyone here learns either by visualizing. Some of you could just learn by just reading off the textbook, or some of us could learn about hearing it through a recording tape, not exactly seeing it. But that could teach the children to where they learn different ways of learning with the technology, and it gives them a better opportunity with that. So those are my ways for educational benefits. And following educational could be the communication benefits, right? With communication benefits, it could be as they're talking with everyone, right? We talk every day. So a quote that I got off of a book from the author Scouter, Technology in the Early Childhood Education, says that young children interacting at computers engage in high levels of spoken communication and cooperation, such as turn-taking and peer collaboration. So computers can also be taught where 2 children can be sitting in front of a computer and they're engaging with the computer, they're learning and pretty much they're also getting help with the teacher. So it can be a tool rather than the teacher being replaced. So that's the most important part as well. In their communication, another bullet point that could follow after that would be their language skills will improve with longer, more complex speech and development of fluency. So with either a tape recorder, a music player, a tablet, a phone, the language skills of how they're being taught with it will improve way more greater than without the technology. Sorry. And then lastly, also my following the communication would be the career benefits of the children, right? And then with that, if they start at a young age, where now technology is pretty much everywhere, you know, either the technology is being run or you're using the technology to use it for where. And if they start young, they can improve as they grow, which would give them knowledge with computers for their later on lives, right? And as Dr. Perry says in an interview that he had, as parents think about future, they need to realize two things. Technology is not going away, and we are in the midst of major social culture quantum shifts. These technologies are revolutionizing the world our children will live in. So our task is to balance appropriate skill development with technologies, with the core principles and experience necessary to raise healthy children, right? And healthy children as of letting them interact, right? They're going to be interacting with technology, which is going to give them a better opportunity in their long run. So, in conclusion, I had talked about the educational, the communication benefits, and the career benefits as all that can help the children grow and with technology. So, as I said earlier, you know, people could argue that technology could be bad for children, which it is, but if it's guided with the right resources and the right time, you know, it can be really beneficial for the children, and as well for us and for all of us. So, as a quote also, I have one more last quote from the Northwest Regional Educational Laboratory. It's a book too. It says, "Used appropriately, computers can be a positive element of children's play and learning as they explore and experiment." So with experimental, you know, it could be very helpful to all the kids, pretty much. I would say, I think kids are our future, we are the future as well, but it is beneficial knowing that kids can have this tool with them and carry along with them the other way. Thank you very much.
What's the time?
8:33.
Thank you. I think I forgot to remind people about this, and Lori, you ended up with double duty on this for some reason. That doesn't make much sense. Did you do the written?
No.
Okay, let's take you out of that. I'll put you in someplace else later on, but you are doing the oral evaluation here.
So, I thought it was pretty good. I love the way how you started with the video. I think it was like one of the smoothest ways. Like it wasn't, what I liked about it as well is that during the video, you were talking about it, so you didn't have that awkwardness of like, we're all watching this, but what's really going on. So I really liked that part about it. And then your information and everything, you hardly ever look at your note card, so it looks like you really took the time to like study it and get familiar with information. And your delivery too was really good. You sounded like you were confident in what you were trying to talk about. The only thing is that at the end was like you kind of dropped, like you kind of dropped the ball at the last minute, so it was kind of like a pause of like, okay, what happened? You sounded so good, so strong, you know? But other than that, you picked it up right back up and you continued and you finished strong, so.
Yeah, I think that little hesitation is more noticeable because you were being successful every place else. And you recovered pretty well, so I didn't think that was that big a deal. You don't want to draw too much attention to it. Just go, oh, okay, you know, and just keep going. I think that's the best way to handle it. The video clip I think is fine. I think it's interesting. You introduced it, which I appreciated, and that makes it easier for us to use it as the attention device. I did feel like we're missing an opportunity to get some other illustrations later on in the speech. So for instance, when you're talking on each of your points, I was wondering, well, you know, give me an example about how kids might learn language, or how they might develop their communication skills, or where it's going to be used in the educational process. I'm sure that there's if you're going to use video clip, I'm sure there are video clips of kids using iPads in the classroom, for instance, or a teacher using one of those giant instructional boards that is basically a big iPad, and show us how that kind of stuff is in fact something that could be integrated here, and especially with young kids, the ability to write and learn and those sorts of things, I think is an interesting idea. As it is, the first point where you've got the education suggestions is the one that doesn't have any supporting information being presented. It's just got your hypothetical examples here, and that's one of the reasons that I think it would be especially helpful if you had a visual on those particular points. The second 2 points, you each had they had some supporting information on them, and I thought you cited that information nicely. So that helps pump it up a little bit. I still think we could use some examples and visuals to go along with that, but I thought that they developed a little bit more effectively. As Lori already said, I thought that your delivery was pretty solid. You know, you had that one moment of hesitation, but that's just a short moment of awkwardness, and that I don't think is anything that you would worry about. I did think right at the end, though, you have a quote that you use in the end. That should be the end of your speech. And then you finish with the quote, and then you've got like another 40 seconds where you're kind of stumbling around trying to find a graceful way to get out of it. And I think that the quote could have worked if you just delivered it the right way. That would have given us a nice impact statement at the end of the presentation. I did, you know, I've said, you know, mostly good things. I got to pick out one thing that I thought was a little bit awkward, and it's, I'm afraid, an illustration of irony here. You're talking about language skills, and the phrase that you use to describe developing those language skills, it would be way more greater for people to learn that. And I'm going, yeah, there's a language skill issue right there. You know, I guess you needed an iPad when you were putting together the speech. I'm sorry, that's just a cheap shot, but it was one of those things because it happened while you were talking about that, and it made me just notice it, and it stood out a little bit more as a result. I apologize.